Modern humans left Africa because a brutal shift in Earth's climate practically forced them out. Around 70,000 years ago, a massive ice age triggered mega-droughts across Africa, shrinking the grasslands and wiping out food sources. Our ancestors didn't leave because they wanted to explore. They left because their homeland was drying up, and they were literally following migrating animals to survive. It was a desperate, generation-spanning gamble, and it's the only reason you and I are alive today. But the deeper scientists dig into this journey, the weirder the story gets. Because the traditional history we were taught in school is fundamentally wrong. This wasn't actually the first time humans tried to escape Africa, but all the earlier attempts vanished.
The evidence of how they survived this journey may not even be buried in the dirt. It may be sitting at the bottom of the ocean. And when they finally made it out, they realized they weren't alone. The world was already ruled by other human species. So how did one small, starving band of hunter-gatherers outlast everyone else and conquer the planet? When we picture ancient Africa, we usually imagine a permanent, scorching desert. But Earth's climate is constantly changing. Around 100,000 years ago, parts of Africa experienced something scientists now call the Green Sahara. The desert was temporarily replaced by rivers, lakes, and lush grasslands. Early groups of Homo sapiens traveled through these green corridors, leaving fossils behind in places like modern-day Israel and Greece. But those early migrations were dead ends. Those groups either died out or retreated back. Then, around 70,000 years ago, the climate door slammed shut. The planet entered a brutal glacial period. The green landscapes disappeared. Mega-droughts spread across Africa. Suddenly, staying where you were meant starvation. Ancient humans weren't explorers in the modern sense. Every single day was about survival. No farms, no stored food, no supermarkets. If rivers dried up, you moved. If the herds migrated, you followed them.
As Africa became drier, humans slowly followed shrinking corridors of vegetation across the Red Sea and into the Middle East, step by step, generation after generation. They didn't know they were leaving a continent behind. They just knew they needed to survive tomorrow. So which path did they take? For decades, scientists assumed humans crossed through the harsh deserts of the Sinai Peninsula. But another theory suggests something completely different: a coastline highway. Instead of fighting inland deserts, humans may have simply followed the beaches of Arabia, India, and Southeast Asia. The ocean offered fish, shellfish, and predictable sources of water.
But if this coastal route is true, why haven't we found more evidence? Because sea levels were much lower back then. Most ancient coastal campsites are now buried under hundreds of feet of ocean water. The ultimate proof of humanity's journey may literally be sitting at the bottom of the sea. But the strongest proof of this migration didn't come from archaeology. It came from inside our own DNA. Scientists discovered something shocking. African populations contain more genetic diversity than the rest of the world combined. In biology, greater genetic diversity usually means a population has lived in one place for a very long time.
Meanwhile, everyone outside Africa carries only a tiny fraction of that original variation, which means only a very small group successfully left Africa and survived. Every non-African person alive today descended from that one tiny band of survivors. But why did this group succeed when earlier migrations failed? Their brains weren't larger. Anatomically modern humans had already existed for over 200,000 years. The real breakthrough was cultural. Around this time, humans suddenly began creating shell jewelry, abstract symbols, advanced tools, and long-distance trade networks. Humans unlocked the power of complex language, planning, and large-scale cooperation. They could share knowledge across generations and rapidly adapt to entirely new environments. And that may have been the true weapon that allowed humans to spread across Earth. But when they entered Eurasia, they encountered something terrifying. They weren't alone. Neanderthals already ruled Europe and the Middle East. Denisovans dominated parts of Asia. For decades, scientists believed modern humans completely replaced these groups. But DNA changed the story.
Today, almost everyone alive still carries genetic traces of these extinct humans. People outside Africa carry roughly 2% Neanderthal DNA. Humans didn't just fight these species, they lived beside them and interbred with them. A small part of those ancient humans still lives inside you right now. Every city we've built, every language we speak, and every technology we create can be traced back to a desperate decision made by a few hundred people fleeing drought 70,000 years ago. They had no maps, no destination. They were simply trying to survive the night. But by stepping into the unknown, they transformed a localized African primate into a global species. Human history has never been the story of staying still. It has always been the story of movement. And maybe that ancient instinct never disappeared. The desire to cross borders, explore oceans, or build rockets to other planets is the exact same instinct that caused our ancestors to stare into an unknown horizon 70,000 years ago and start walking. Human history didn't begin in cities. It began with a journey.
Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.